And my name is John Peterson. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Ericom. Ericom is a provider of secure remote access solutions. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the joint integration between Forcepoint and Ericom to provide secure web access. So for starters, let's talk a little bit about an industry problem that has existed for some time. The security industry has dealt with a challenge in how to address the unknown web. It's pretty evident in what you do when you're dealing with known good, you simply allow it. And when you're dealing with known bad, you simply disallow it. But there's this gray area that has existed for some time called the unknown, where new websites appear on the web. They may have been registered within the last 24 hours. They may not have been given any type of reputation rating as to whether it's good or bad. And a user may need to access that website for productivity reasons. But you can't simply allow everything unknown, because those unknown sites could be delivering malware, some sort of malicious content, or could be a phishing site. So how do you deal with the unknown? And the joint solution that Ericom and Forcepoint has created is a solution that spans across all three domains, providing security for things that are known good, known bad, and also unknown. So some of the pain points involved in dealing with such a problem of unknown is allowing unknown could create some sort of security risk to the organization, because those unknown sites could be malicious, they could be delivering malware, they could be phishing sites. And then blocking those unknown websites is also a problem, because users may need to access those websites. It could be an unknown website that's new and on the internet that's good, but it just hasn't been categorized yet. Or it could be a site that has existed for some time, like CNN, and there could be some sort of user-generated content on those sites. Or it could be that those sites like CNN may be serving ads from an ad network that are unknown. So how do you deal with this problem of things that are just on the web and constantly being unknown and uncategorized? So the solution to that is to actually have a remote browser isolation layer that works in conjunction with a web security gateway like Forcepoint, where Forcepoint's addressing the known good and the known bad, and then redirecting things over to an isolation layer that Ericom provides, which handles the unknown. This allows a high level of security as well as a high level of productivity. So let's talk a little bit about how it works. For starters, imagine the end user having its normal browser, a local browser, and then imagine having a remote browser that's hosted and run in the cloud somewhere. And the local browser basically sends instruction to the remote browser on what to do. So the way that this works is traffic will go from the user's device through the secure web gateway that Forcepoint provides, and there will be policy there that allows known good and blocks known bad, but then unknown sites or URLs are sent to this isolation layer called a remote browser isolation pool. That remote browser will then go fetch that content on the user's behalf. So if you take a look at step 2 here, the remote browser is actually going to fetch content from a site, whether that site has got malicious things embedded within it, like malware or malicious JavaScript or CSS, or if the site is simply good, just in a state of being unknown, that remote browser is actually fetching that content for the user and then rendering a visual stream to the user. So the active content never reaches the end user's device. Simply a visual stream is rendered, and the active content is run and executed in a container inside the remote browser. This prevents 100% of the time from malicious content ever reaching the end user, because it's never executed at the end user's machine or browser. The use cases for this are, number one, to prevent malware. Again, if there's malware embedded inside a website, we often call it drive-by malware downloads. A user clicks on a link, and unbeknownst to that user, they get infected. Again, this prevents that scenario of malware coming down, because once again, the malware is run and executed inside a remote browser. The solution also is really good for blocking phishing attacks. So if a user gets an email and clicks on a link, there could be policy that's set up such that unknown sites can be put in read-only mode. This way it will prevent the user from typing in username and password credentials, social security numbers, or credit cards because those unknown sites are set in read-only mode. And the last thing here as a use case is stopping malicious file downloads. And this occurs in two ways. There's a built-in piece of technology that we call CDR that's involved inside the remote browser. It stands for Content Disarm and Reconstruction. And what it does is it removes any sort of malicious content that may be embedded inside a Word document, PDF, or an Excel spreadsheet, and then reconstructs that file and then sends that file back to the user. So it strips out any kind of malicious content that it detects. The other way that the solution can prevent malicious downloads is by integrating with the Forcepoint Secure Web Gateway's AV engine. So if a user ever downloads anything, that file that's coming down still has to go through the Forcepoint malware detection engines. So collectively, with a secure web gateway and remote browser isolation technology, we have a really, really strong solution that allows users to surf the web without even thinking about it. Just simply click on things, you don't have to worry about it because the known good will be treated as such, the known bad will be treated as such, and the unknown will be isolated and kept away from the user.
Ericom. Be connected. Be secure.